Hi everybody, now we're going to go over 9-5A. This one is lucky, there are no calculations. You just need to find the journal entries to go with this business. So if we go to our textbook and look at page 325, it begins the journal entries for us. So if you look, we're going to need this first journal entry. So I'm going to pull up Excel. And I don't remember the date off the top of my head, so I'm just going to focus on the actual journal entries. And then when we get back to the actual page in the textbook for the problem, we'll enter in the correct date. And your homework is going to look exactly the same. We're just going to use different numbers. So there's the first journal entry that we're going to need. We also need to show the FUTA being paid. If you scroll down on page 325, it shows you exactly what you're going to need for FUTA tax payable. And then the last transaction we're going to need is on the next page. Let's go over a couple more. If you have to take payroll, you're going to get into more of these tax forms. And here we go. On page 330 is the journal entries we're going to need for our last transaction. Okay, so here's the journal entries that we're going to need. Now let's go back to 343 in our textbook. And the date is on April 15th. So it's going to be the same. Okay, and then let's do the amounts. Again, it gives us all we need. So we have our Social Security tax of $11,250. Our Medicare tax of $2,625. Our federal income tax of $6,825. Our FUTA amount is $600, and our SUTA is the $40.50. So we can just go ahead and do those. And then I told a little fib. We're going to have to do a little bit of math, but we're going to let Excel do it for us. Okay, and 9-5 is completely done. It's a pretty simple problem. If you have any questions on it, let me know. And now let's go to the last problem that we have to do for homework. Okay, on number 9, what you're given is you're given information and you have to figure out compensation. So the first problem, or part 1, we're going to use the green box right here where it says estimated payroll, $210,000. Rate is 0.2% and the estimated insurance premium. And so the journal entry right below it is how ours is going to look. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the journal entry so you don't have to try to remember that later. So I'm going to go workers. And you may need to make your columns wider. So that's the first one. And I'm going to go ahead up here and write the formula out so I don't have to keep flipping back. So we're going to take our estimated payroll times our rate, which is going to give us our estimated premium. This way it just saves time later. And the next one we're actually going to need is actually right down here in the next green box. For problem 2, we're going to have our actual payroll times the rate equals our insurance premium. But then we're going to have to subtract our estimated. So it's going to be a little confusing, but you'll see once we get there. And then the journal entry we need is right here on top. It's going to be workers' compensation insurance expense. So again, I'm going to go ahead and list that already so we don't have to worry about it later. Okay, and then the last problem we're going to have to do is right down below. So we have our payroll times the rate, and then the insurance premium. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and enter in the formula to save time later. Payroll times our rate is our insurance premium, subtract premium paid. And that is going to give us our refund due. And then the journal entries are right here. We're going to do insurance refund receivable. And then we're going to be crediting workers' compensation insurance expense. And I'm just going to copy it and paste it below that way. Okay, now we're going to go back to the page in our book where the actual problem is. This is for problem 9. And your journal entries are going to look exactly the way that I have them listed. The only difference is your calculations. So that's going to make life a little bit easier when it comes time to do your homework. So we know our rate is 0.3%. So the estimated payroll is $650,000. So for this one up here for number 1, our estimated is $650,000, and we're going to multiply that by 0.3%. So whip out the calculator. 650,000 times 0.3% gives us $1,950. And that's all you do for the first one. The second one, we actually had payroll of $672,000. So we were off on our estimation. So we're going to have $672,000 times 0.3% is going to give us our amount that we should have used. And then we're going to subtract the $1,950 that we've already calculated. So we have 672 times 0.3%. Oops, let's try that again. 672,000 times 0.3% gives us the $2,016. So we're going to take minus 1,950. That way we can keep track of our formulas. So 2016 minus 1950, which means we actually owe $66. Okay, the last transaction we overpaid, so we actually need to calculate what it should have been. So we're going to assume that the payroll was $634,000 instead of $672,000. So that's going to make quite a bit of difference. So we have $634,000 times our 0.3%, and then subtract the 2016 that we've already paid. So we're going to have 634,000 times 0.3% gives us 19. So I'm giving you the wrong numbers. Instead of the 1950, we're actually going to use the estimated from up here. So it's going to be 1950. So instead of subtracting 2016, we're going to subtract 1950. Make sure I lead you guys correctly. So let's try that again. 634,000 times 0.3% gives us $1,902. And then we're going to subtract our 1950. And that's going to give us how much we should be getting back. So 1,902 minus 1950 gives us $48. Okay, and that is all there is to this week's homework. If you have any questions, please let me know. And don't forget about office hours where you can come in and ask any questions that you need. Have a great day.